Hi there everybody, hope you guys have all been keeping well. So day 7, isolation. We've had quite a bit of rain, but it's a beautiful sunny day today, so we're going to get out and see what tracks we can find. The rain would have left the substrate really nice for leaving impressions, so I'm thinking let's go see what we can find, do some different tracks. I can show you guys some different illustrations of different tracks. Let's go see what we can find. Right, I've come across a nice little muddy junction in the road, so it's a very good spot to pick up on tracks. You'll see there. So I'm gonna see what we can pick up. Alright, so you can see we've got a nice little set of tracks over here. You can see the little individual tracks, little tracks like that. About the animal's about this wide, moves along. You can see it was dragging its back foot here a bit. Stepped again, stepped again. You can see nice even spacings between the footprints. Now I'm going to give you a clue. This animal carries his house on his back. Yes, you're right if you guess tortoise. So we have a tortoise here, quite a larger individual, so I'm going to guess it's most probably a leopard tortoise. These guys are normally active when the temperature is between 25 to 30 degrees Celsius. You can see a very nice little, you can see little scales, indentations there. So yeah, it's only been that temperature for not too long. So I think we're going to switch from tracks and signs to trailing, and we're going to see if we can actually find this little tortoise. Okay, so I've come off the tortoise's tracks. I can't seem to pick them up anymore. The substrate has changed, it's gotten quite a lot harder, and there's also a lot of grass, so I can't really see the tracks so well anymore. So you'd think that all is lost, but we're going to do what we call a double round. So I'm going to go back around to the same spot where I had the tracks last. I'm going to do a big circle around there, and then I'm going to see if I can pick up on any tracks or anything that would slightly look like a tortoise has left it. Okay, I've come to the spot where I thought I had that the last track of the tortoise. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to resort to what you'd call aerial tracking. Now, aerial tracking is when you get to the eye level of whatever you are tracking. So if you're tracking a human, you're checking at eye level for any markings left, like broken branches or anything like that, or antelope as well. Any signs of especially horned males, with their horns scratching off some bark or what have you, or even leaving some fur stuck in the bark. But with your tortoise, this is going to be a little bit more difficult. So bear with me. Okay, so aerial tracking, we're down to tortoise eye level. Now if you look, you can see that the grass has been parted over here. So for me, this is my best bet on which direction the tortoise is taken. So let's follow this for a while and see what we can pick up on. I do believe we have found what we are looking for. She's moving along a bit slowly. She's nice and in the open. I don't want to upset her. She seems to have noticed me now. She's stopped. She's not moving anymore. Okay, I've snuck in directly behind her. Now, they don't have the greatest sense of hearing. The reason for this is there's a small membrane over their ear opening known as a tympanic membrane. They can hear, but it's not the greatest. They depend on their other senses, their sense of smell, and they've got very good eyesight as well, believe it or not. And they can actually distinguish between different colors, well, a few different colors, not all different colors. And this is to help them to distinguish if fruit is ripe or not, whether it's good or not to eat. You can see how her little head is out there. She's very much aware that I'm here. They're actually very aware of their surroundings, your tortoises. So just as I thought, this is a leopard tortoise. Leopard tortoise is called a leopard tortoise because it's the only species of tortoise that is known to drag its prey up a tree. No, I'm joking, folks. It's called a leopard tortoise because of these beautiful leopard-like markings that you can see on top of her carapace here. Now the carapace is the top piece of the tortoise, your dorsal section, and then you have your ventral part here at the bottom. And it's covered in these scutes, these individual scales, large scales. Now this is a modified bone box that actually comes off of the spinal column here. One is actually able to age a tortoise by counting the individual ridges and valleys. So you can see there's little ridges and little valleys. The valleys are said to be the summers, so that's when the tortoise grows, and the ridges the winters, where it goes into a type of hibernation known as torpor. Not a true hibernation. When it gets warm enough, the tortoise will become active again. But this is how you can age him. So if you count all these individuals, I'm not going to take the time to count them. I don't really have the time, but if you guys would like to, pause and count, and then you guys can get back to me and tell me how old this tortoise was. Right, so we can tell the age, we can tell what species it is. Now, how to tell the gender. Now, to tell the gender, I'm going to have to lift this tortoise up. Now, it's not advised to lift the tortoise up during the dry season, because that is where they store their water in their bodies. There's a little pouch called a bursa, which is actually connected to the anus, and they will store water in there for times of drought, or if they actually get scared. So normally when people pick them up, they'll actually release fluid from the bursa. This is a defense mechanism. Now obviously if it's in the dry season and there's not water available, you're going to be hindering this tortoise and may end up dying of dehydration. But now we've had plenty of rain, so I'm going to risk it. I'm going to lift her up. You'll be able to see the bottom side of her, or him. Dun, 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 the gender reveal. And it is a female. So you can tell it's a female because it's flat over here. Shame she doesn't like that. The males are concaved. Reason they're concaved is so that they can actually get up on top of the female. Oh wow, we've actually managed to get it to move now. Generally they won't move when they're being molested, because this is when they make themselves vulnerable. Now her feet are exposed, little head is exposed. So if I was a predator like a hyena or a jackal, I could actually grab her and cause some damage to her. So that's not really advisable to her. Now, probably because she's a younger individual. So I did mention this is a larger tortoise. You can see the size of my hand. The other species of tortoise, the hinge tortoise we get here, they don't really get this big. So this is a younger individual though. So your leopard tortoise is the largest species of tortoise that we get in South Africa. They can reach probably about 4 to 5 times the size. Also, as they get older, they'll lose these beautiful markings. They'll become a lot more dull. They're also the only species of tortoise in South Africa that can swim, and they're also our most widespread species of tortoise. So there we have it. Beautiful female leopard tortoise. We'll leave it to it. I've stressed her out a bit, I think. Good luck, girl. Try not to get eaten. Right guys, we're saying goodbye to my little leopard tortoise friend here. Hope that you guys enjoyed it. This tracks and signs that actually turned into leopard tortoise. Maybe we'll get back to tracks and signs some other time. Stay safe guys, wash your hands.